Welcome back, guys, to the PLO Mastermind and your 10-week transformation. In today's video, I'm going to cover the last of the 4 mastermind elements, which is optimization. First, I will talk about why optimization is important. Afterwards, what do we optimize for in specific? Then I'm going to go into the methodology. So how do we optimize? And lastly, I will leave you, as always, with a couple of action steps to get the ball rolling. First, let's start with a quote. To optimize the whole, we must sub-optimize the parts. Edward Deming was a pioneer in quality management. And what he talks about here is, from an entrepreneurial standpoint, when you look at your business, you have different parts of it. And you have to make sure as a leader that every part is well working in order to reach the desired situation. Now, as a poker player, you should also look down at your poker career from a high point and understand that there are different departments. Now, we already talked about that in the first video, and the fact that strategy alone is not going to get you to your desired situation. And that is because poker is based on performance. It's very, very performance driven. And in order to deliver the best performance on a consistent basis, you need to make sure that other areas apart from strategy are also intact and consistently being worked on. For example, your tactics, your mental game, and also 4 additional areas, which I'm going to introduce today, which I put under optimization. Now, the difference between an entrepreneur and a solopreneur, which is what you are basically as a poker player, is that you don't have any employees, which means you need to juggle multiple balls at the same time. And the reason that's important is, again, because poker is a performance-based activity and your results are going to be based on your performance and how consistent that performance is. And that's really the big challenge behind being a poker player and a successful poker player for a long time. You have to deliver at a very high level on a consistent basis. And strategy alone is not going to do the job. The 4 areas that you also have to consistently work on are recovery, sleep, diet, and exercise. Now, when you think about those 4 areas and you improving them, you should also realize that they're not only going to improve the bottom line of your poker results, but they will also have a great impact on your overall life quality. If you sleep better, if you have a healthier diet, if you exercise on a regular basis, and if you know how and are recovering yourself on a regular basis, you're going to experience more well-being. You're going to experience a better life quality. And that will have a massive impact not only on your poker results, but also on your work results, on your relationships, on the connection you have towards yourself, just on general life quality. Your emotions are going to be more positive if you can improve those 4 areas. So that should be plenty of motivation in order to get started improving those on a consistent basis. And the general mindset here should be that every area we're looking at here can always be improved further, but you shouldn't necessarily try to improve them all at once. Just take it step by step and see what works and what doesn't. Because everyone is very different, and what might help me to sleep better might not help you to sleep better as well, because you are potentially in a different environment, you're a different human being, and you have a different biology, in some ways at least. So sometimes, I will make suggestions, for example, when it comes to better sleep, blackout curtains, or sleep mask, or earplugs, or taking a shower before going to bed, taking magnesium before going to bed, potentially cooling down your body temperature, or nose straps, going outside and breathing cold air. Like, there are different things you can do, but it's not granted they're going to work or have a great effect on you specifically. And therefore, we have to introduce a certain methodology that is going to make sure that you will find the right hacks, so to speak, that are going to improve those 4 areas for you specifically, individually, for the long term. And here are these steps. So it's going to be a 5-step process. On the left-hand side, we start off with experimentation. So I'm going to introduce in the next 10 weeks multiple ideas in every area that you can try out. And the idea is to pick one only, because you're trying to track accurately what the effect is of only one additional element into your life. So when it comes to sleep hacks, for example, or changing your diet, just change one element, one suggestion, and see what the effect is. That way you can track much more accurately. So after experimenting with it, you're going to track the results, and we're going to talk about tracking as well, how to track your sleep, how to track your diet, how to track your exercise results and your recovery. There are tools for that, but also you should start developing a good sense of those different areas and how well you're doing in them by yourself. And you will achieve that better understanding of those different areas as you become more aware. So once you have experimented with a new idea and you track the results, you got some feedback, you're going to make a decision on whether you want to integrate that or not. And again, not everything is going to work for everyone, and therefore you have to listen to your own body and understand what works for you. Once you made a decision to keep something in your life, you want to optimize it further. So for example, if you found great success in blackout curtains in your bedroom because you realize that complete darkness is going to make you sleep better, maybe you want to try out a sleep mask on top and see if that is further going to improve and optimize your sleep quality or not. So play around and try to find further optimizations based on the first hack. So build on top of that essentially. And then once you know what the hack is, once you know what the thing is you need to do or integrate in order to improve that certain area, you're going to create a habit out of it. And I'm going to guide you in the second week about how to create a habit successfully. But for the first week, I want you guys just to find something you can start with. And that brings us to the action steps. First, choose either sleep, diet, exercise, or recovery, and experiment with one hack or improvement you heard about or found on the internet. So whatever area you think is easiest for you or most helpful to you, choose one and then do something. Find a hack on the internet or something you heard about but have never tried before. It has to be something completely new, and try to experiment with it. Track the results. So look for that feedback and make sure that you can track it in the most accurate way possible. And then integrate or dismiss it going into week number 2. Afterwards, find a slight optimizer as well in week 2. And then lastly, create a habit about it. And we're going to go into more info on that in week number 2. Include the whole process in your progress log. So make sure to write about it. It's going to make it much easier for you to keep track of it and also to stay motivated and get some feedback on it. And in the next video, we're going to talk about how to create a progress log and a vision. So for now, follow these action steps. Make sure to recognize that these 4 areas are essential when it comes to your poker success, and that we therefore need to consistently work on improving them. We'll see each other in the next video. Fernando over and out for the PLO Mastermind.